Good morning and happy Monday. I hope you are having a blessed morning. If you are watching or listening to this live, you are blessed. He woke you up and gave you another day. You're blessed with another day to reach your goals. You have another day to change it. You have another day to make it right. You have another day to heal. He's giving you another day to prosper. He is giving you another day. So refrain from looking behind you. Anything that happened yesterday, the day before, last week, last month, that's in the past. You can't get anywhere from looking behind you. So continue to move forward, continue to look ahead, continue to look into success. Look ahead. That's where your success lies. Your success is not behind you. Your past is not behind you. Learn to leave your past alone. Let your past go, even people, places, and things. Once God has shown you something new, He has shown you the way to go, the way to walk in purpose, the way to walk in blessing, then it's up to you to leave your past alone and move forward because you can't get anywhere looking behind you. Today, I'm just going to be on here briefly, but this is morning inspiration with Diamond Perry. So I'm going to be on here most mornings giving a little bit of inspiration to get your day going and to get my day going as well. So refrain from looking behind you, look ahead. Whatever you've been thinking about doing most, stop procrastinating. Stop thinking about it, stop planning it out, stop saying I don't have enough money to do it, I don't have enough finances, how am I going to do this, and just move ahead and do it because anything that you're working for that's huge, that's bigger than you, anything that's greater than you, when you first start out, you will not have all the finances that you need. You won't have everything figured out. You won't have everything planned out. And so, if you continue to procrastinate with moving forward with whatever it is, by the time you look up, so many years have passed you by, and you've done nothing but procrastinate every year about what you're going to do, how you're going to succeed, the business that you're going to create. You don't have enough money. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know where I'm going to get the funding from. Your faith is what's going to get you there. So, if this is something that you already prayed on or something that God has shown you, then He will give you the how to. Your job is to just move forward and to just believe in yourself. So the title for today is I Refuse to Shrink Myself. And a lot of times when I'm doing my morning inspiration, I really speak about things that I have seen other people go through or I have experienced myself. And that is such a big thing, not shrinking yourself. When you are at a certain place in your life where God has blessed you with purpose and He begins to give you a new identity because God will recreate you into whom He wants you to be, no matter who you were last year or the year before. When He has a sole purpose for you, He's definitely going to recreate you and recreate your identity. Before you know it, you are a totally different person. A lot of bad habits that you had and people that you were surrounded around, even if you're somebody that used to club, you're on look up and you won't have a taste for clubbing anymore. You may be somebody that likes to occasionally drink, and maybe whatever your purpose is or whatever God bless you with, alcohol is not a part of it. And so He will take that taste out your mouth, to the fact to where He will recreate you to the point where you're unrecognizable to people from your past or even people in your current life. And so what happens with that, as you change over, as you start to walk in purpose, as you begin to be who God has created you to be, people do not like that. People do not like that. And it'll be the closest people to you. And you will think that they're your supporters. And the whole while they're wearing a mask. They're not your supporters. They don't like it. And there's several reasons why they don't like it. A lot of people feel like you think you're too good, you've changed, or people who have low self-esteem or don't have a purpose in life or feel that they don't have a purpose in life with them accepting who you are, it puts the light on who they are, or the fact that they feel like they failed, or excuse me, they were not able to be who they wanted to be. It kind of shines the light on their insecurities. And so this is something that I have experienced myself. Actually, several people I had to, along the way, start making my circle smaller and smaller and smaller, into the fact where I felt like I was just by myself, you know, not really any friends, people that are supposed to be close to me. um, Excuse me, I would come back to my hometown and these people would literally not speak to me. And I'm talking about people that are in my family would literally not associate themselves with me. And it's not because I'm a bad person, but it's like they're watching me online and it's kind of like, who does she think she is? You know, who does she think she is, trying to change the trajectory? She comes from here. Who does she think she is, trying to become a music artist and trying to produce TV? And I don't even like the word trying. I don't even use that. But I'm just really speaking on another person's, the way that they see you when they're watching you change over, when they're watching you create and become someone greater. They don't like that, and so before you know it, they're not speaking to you, or they're not communicating with you. And these are people who have communicated with you before, and they're definitely not supporting you. Definitely do not expect to see those likes on Facebook, on IG. You're going to get a lot of people watching your story, but I seem to notice the more things that I started to do, the more content and things that I started to create. I'm preparing for my show to go on TV. A lot of people who I seen support me, or they're watching my story, but they're definitely not supporting those posts. You know, so people, they don't like change. And so once you see that your value is increasing and you're walking in purpose, you're going to start having people that are close to you. They don't have the capacity to accept who God is making you out to be. And so you'll see more arguments, you'll start to see insults, and you will start to see that they don't even want you to speak about what you're doing in front of them. And so when you find yourself in environments like that, it's time for you to move on. It's time for you to move on, because what's happening is they're not going to accept who you are. And the only thing they're going to accept is who you used to be, whether that was a good person, a bad person, or whatever. People that you know currently in your life cannot unsee the old version of you. So they're not going to accept it, you know. And then you ask yourself, well, you know, why not? Because this was me in the beginning. When I started my career in 2009, I was so excited about the new things that I was doing, and I wanted to share them with my loved ones. And people were looking at me like I was crazy. What is she talking about? Why does she think she could do this and that? I come from a small state. I come from Indiana. I currently live in Atlanta. And so it's kind of like, who does she think she is? You know, she can't do this. And people will try to plant that in your head. And that's why it's so important for you to surround yourself around like minded individuals. Get yourself out of that environment. Like, I literally shut my ears off and I literally closed the door. I'm like in my own world. It has to look like delusion, because when God has given you something to do, no one else can see that but you anyway. Do not waste your time trying to convince other people of what God has shown you and of what he's given to you. I used to pull my music out. Hey, listen to this. Listen to the music that I wrote. Watch my video. Do this, do that. And they were literally looking at me like I was crazy, but I knew what God had shown me. Anywho, my dad was a musician, you know, he traveled the world, but, in the 80s, they were doing their thing. They were in bands and traveling and stuff. They didn't have like the internet. and all that. So they didn't have to worry about, is this person, liking me? Am I being supported? Music, everything in the entertainment industry was so easy at that time. They just got out there and just did their thing. But now everything is so commercial and so digital and so ran by numbers. So it's like, oh, if this person doesn't have this amount of followers, I'm not going to follow them either. And that's another sad truth. That's something that only goes on in the United States. When you go overseas or your music goes overseas or you start getting support from other countries, they are happy to support you. They're excited about you. But when you are in the United States, you're in the US, hey, if it's not popular to get behind you, they're not going to do that. They're going to support you when you have the numbers that Beyonce has or Sierra. Once you are a major international thing, then they will support you. The more numbers that you have, the more support you're going to get online. So same way with Facebook, same way with Meta. So every once in a while, they will shadow ban me. And I've been hearing a lot of people talk now about their numbers and their views and stuff going down. Even their money is going down as far as social media and what they're paying and stuff. So I don't know what they're doing, but everyone is getting a lot less views and different things. And so Meta is a business too. And so what people don't understand, they can see that you're an artist, they can see that you're a musician, they can see that you're a comedian. They're only going to put your content out for so long and allow you to get those views. You're getting those views not because you're popular or you're unpopular, because they're pushing that content out. As long as it's high quality content, they're going to push that content out. So they're only going to allow you to have certain numbers for a certain time before they stop allowing people to see this content. There was once upon a time I was getting super amount of views, thousands and thousands of views, and then those views went down to 5 or 600 views. The point is, it's a business. And so they're not going to just allow thousands of people to see you and for you to promote yourself on their platform for free. That's not going to happen. They want you to purchase ads. So everything is a numbers game. If you don't have the numbers, people don't want to follow you and they don't want to support you. But Meta is only going to push you out for so long and allow so many people to see your content before they disallow people to see your content. So you can have the best content in the world, but it's not that you're unpopular. It's not that your music is bad or your jokes are bad or your skits or whatever. It's not that. It's that they're a business and they know that you need these views and you need people to see you and see your brand in order for you to be successful in your brand. So they're going to disallow so many people to see that content, and eventually you're going to buy those ads or you're going to get off their platform because no one is going to see your content, no matter how many times you share it. And then if you overly share, they're going to shadow ban you. Or if you overly post, they're going to shadow ban you. So if you have some content and the views are very low, tomorrow and the next week, don't expect those views to increase. They've already stopped allowing people to see the content. So, but back to the subject, of shrinking yourself. Um, so there was a point in time that I used to go back home and I used to visit. And this was some years ago that this happened. I would have to explain myself to people not to call me my legal name and to call me my brand name because I worked hard for that name. It's my brand. And so half of my name is my legal name, the other half is, my brand name. And so certain people were like, it was actually someone that I had dated and then a couple of people that I knew in my family as well. And they were like, no, we're not going to call you your brand name. We're going to call you your given name. And I went through so much with that. And I'm like, hey, if I change my name to whatever, what if I tell you to call me Box, I have the right. This is my name, you know. And so what I learned from that is, me fighting for someone that has been knowing me to call me what I want you to call me, that's another form of you trying to shrink me. You don't want me to be anything more than what I was. The only thing you want to do is to remember me before I became a public figure. You want to remember me before I became an artist. You want to remember me before I became a TV producer. You want to remember me before I became a composer. Anything that I do in my brand, I didn't ask God for this. This is a gift that was given to me. So disallow yourself to be around individuals like that, because if you go for that, before you know it, they'll have you pushed back down to the level that they want you on, or the level that they can stand you at. They can't stand you to be up there. They can't stand you to be on top. They can't stand you to be above them. And certain people are okay with your success and they will clap as long as you're not doing more than them. But once they see that you've passed them up, they don't understand that if I win, you win. If someone out of your community comes out and they win, then they have changed. They've actually changed lives. They've actually changed the story. They've changed the narrative for that community, for that race, for that group of people, for that family. But they don't understand that. They would rather you stay in the bucket with them, the crab in the bucket mentality. One crab is trying to get out the bucket and the others are just pulling them back down. As long as you stay in the bucket with them, it's okay. Everything is okay. But the minute you decide to do something different, and they don't care if God gave this to you. Years ago, I spent so much time explaining that to my people. I was like, hey, I'm doing something positive with my talk show. This is something that God gave me. They were looking at me like I was crazy. They could care less. They don't care if God gave it to you. If He told you to do it, they don't care. Now, when you ask for them to support you, guess what? They disappear. They disappear. Everybody gets quiet. Status Network, a TV network in Atlanta, Georgia, was having a contest to see. They were offering sponsorship for your podcast or your TV show to be sponsored, everything behind the scenes to be paid for, and also to put through distribution, excuse me. And so I took and I started sending the link out to people that stay in my story, people that watch my story. Every time I post something, they're watching. But I also sent it to a few people that I know personally. Let's just put it like that. And so every time this certain person would open my message, they would bypass the link. So I sent the screenshot. And I knew this person was not going to vote for me, but they kept trying to, have a casual conversation and just ignore it. And it was so funny to me because for me, I'm a winner. And I've been doing this long enough to know that what God has shown me and what He's given to me, I got it. I got it. And there's nothing you can do about it. You don't have to vote. I'm still going to win. You don't have to vote because this is what God wants for me. I had supporters and people that voted for me every day, but that individual, I didn't need their vote. And those guys that can't stop watching my story every time I post, I didn't need their vote. I just start unfriending and removing people from my platform, removing followers. Because stop watching my story if you don't want to support me. But guess what? I don't need your support. God will always place people in your life that are acclimated with the purpose that He's given you. So when you have people that are sitting back watching you, they're not supporting you, Don't worry about that. Keep doing what you're doing. You don't even have to be in the entertainment industry, whatever it is that you're doing. You're going to school. Guess what? Your family or your friends are not supporting you because now you want to become a doctor. Go work at McDonald's. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that because you do what you have to do to take care of yourself and your family. But I'm telling you, go work at McDonald's and they're going to support you making those fries and sending them burgers out that drive through window. Okay. You're at your job, you got a raise. Put it on the internet, they'll support it. But as soon as you post that you are working on opening your own business, that you are working on entrepreneurship, that you decided that you wanted to be on TV, something bigger than the average, everyone around you will get quiet. And they might be there in the beginning, clicking a few likes, but after a while, crickets. You're going to see your views go down, your support. And guess what? People that know you, they're going to stop talking to you. They're going to stop talking to you because no one wants to be around the successful you or the person who is now rising above the average. People don't want to see that. And I'm not speaking about all people, but these are people that have no motivation in life. They don't understand a purpose. And even if they do, a lot of people don't want to understand what you're doing. So they don't care. So do not look for your support in people that you know and people that are close to you. But I'm telling you now, if they're not supporting you, get away, get from around them because that's also a sense of jealousy. And jealousy is jealousy is crazy, but it's dangerous. A person will be so jealous of you, they will unalive you or they will have you unalive. They will do something to you to they will do something to you to ruin what you're doing. Just know that. And just know that the things I'm speaking on, I have experienced them. So along the way, I had to get away from certain people. And anyway, God will bless you and put people in your life that have everything to do with your purpose. So if you're looking to do TV or you're working to become an engineer, entrepreneur, you have this real estate business that you want to build up, as soon as you close the doors on your past, God is going to reinvent you and He's going to start putting people in front of you that are real estate owners. They have businesses, they're investors, agents, people that also can supply you with the money that you need for those projects. A long time ago, I used to put things on hold because I didn't know how I would finance the project. I didn't know how I would do this and do that, and I will contemplate because I'm like, okay, I need to get this straight and this organized so that I can get the money that I need for this project. But it didn't happen because it's not going to happen that way. You have to just start. You got to start today. Stop waiting. Excuse me. Stop putting it off. Stop trying to wait until everything's going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. If you don't start now, tomorrow you'll be saying I'm going to start. Your tomorrow is going to turn into next month, and your next month is going to turn into next year, and that year is going to turn into another year. Before you know it, you never started. Like 2 3 years have went by and you still never started. I had a friend from back home, and I had already moved to Atlanta, had already started my career, picked my kids up, left. Everybody thought I was crazy because what woman with children does that? She's supposed to sit here and sit still and just live ordinary life. That's what she's supposed to do. That was their thoughts. Okay, so I went on my first few months. I was in Atlanta. I was recording with different producers. I was on the radio. I had music overseas. I was having a good time. Okay, and so one of my friends, she wanted to move to Atlanta. And so she talked about it. The first year it didn't happen. The second year it didn't happen. Then we went into the third year. And she was still saying, I'm going to move to Atlanta. So I was like, I'm going to come and get you because you keep trying to save up your money. It's not working. She would save up her money, then her job will fire her. Now her car is broke down. It was always something. And I told her, I said, you have to just go. You have to just go. Of course, when you have made a change in your life or you are working to do something different or out of the ordinary, of course, all types of things are going to happen in the beginning. That's just a challenge that you're going to face in life to see, are you going to give up? Are you going to quit every time something goes wrong? Something is going to go wrong. Nothing is going to be perfect. Even if you're a millionaire, if you're a billionaire, it doesn't matter if you're making six figures a month. Something is always going to go wrong. So are you going to stop every time you have a problem and every time something goes wrong? You can't do that. And so this is what my friend was doing at this time. This is what she was doing. And so I said, hey, I'm just coming to get you myself and I'm going to bring you. And so it was 3 years of her procrastinating. I finally picked her up and took her and her children to Atlanta. And she moved into her apartment with nothing. She didn't have anything. I helped her with food, groceries, and kind of get started with some of the basic things that she needed because she had spent all her money on her apartment. But the moral to the story is she finally came, and moving to another state, especially with children, whether you're a single parent or you're not, it's a challenge within itself because you're actually restarting your life. And so a lot of people are afraid to do that. A lot of people are afraid to start over. And I see people to this day from my hometown and say, oh my God, I wish I could just, pick up and move like you. My children are not small anymore. They're adults now. And so I've always been a traveler. And my mom told me, you get that from your dad because he was a musician, he was a singer, he traveled all over the world. But I am not a person that's afraid of change. I'm not a person that's afraid to start new things. I'm not afraid to do anything. I believe I can achieve anything. And so if you too are a person that believes that you can achieve anything, go for it. But watch the people that are around you. Sometimes you will have to literally get by yourself. Like you will literally have to isolate yourself while you're working on these goals because people will try to poison you with their low self-esteem, with their being afraid, with their not wanting to change. That's the same thing that people did with Dr. Martin Luther King. That's one of the reasons he was assassinated, for wanting to make a change and wanting to change things in the world. People cannot stand to see you do that, especially if they don't have that type of mindset. There are certain groups of people. You get some people that are afraid of change. Another group of people are jealous, and you just have to make sure you're not around people like that. I don't care if you guys are blood related. It's crucial because if not, it's going to be so long to you getting yourself there. So right now at this point in my life, I don't have like a huge social life. I still enjoy myself, but I am in work mode right now because I have a lot of things that I am working to achieve, and nobody is going to get in my way. And so do not shrink yourself to make other people feel okay. They're intimidated with you being around them. I notice I have conversations with certain people even to this day right now. And if I start speaking on something that I'm working on or start speaking on my TV show, they'll cut me off. They'll cut me off. And so I exclude those people from my life. You don't want to hear about it. If you're not interested, if it intimidates you, stay away from me. So let that be your inspiration for the day. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful Monday. Mondays are crunch time. We've had the whole weekend to relax or enjoy ourselves or whatever. And so now it is definitely time to get back to it. So be blessed today, be successful, make you some money, speak some positive affirmations over your life, take time and pray. And that should be the first thing that you do. Be happy today and exclude yourself from people that don't want to see you have more.